Welcome to the Wise Take DFS Premium live stream for NFL Week 2. I am your host, Patio Joe, and I'm joined here by my two friends, my GPP guys, Pauly D. You can find him on Twitter at Pauly8Ds. And my first time doing a pod with Josh at Cash and DFS. Say what's up, guys.
What's up?
What's up, fellas? Your boy is ready.
Yes. We're ready to get into this week 2. I'm happy to be back on these premium streams. I missed last week because I was probably cracked out as hell right now at 10:30 in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday when I was in Vegas. So I'm glad to be back. I'm a little under the weather from yesterday. I was having a temperature at my second half of my varsity game I was reffing. I had a temperature and it was tough, so basically almost up all night. But I'm here and I have locked into this slate, and I'm sure you guys are too. The way we're going to get into it is we're going to start off with some games that we like. Obviously, there's the two that we're going to talk about, the two main ones, and then we're going to try and find maybe one or two other ones that we can pivot off of if we want to. So first, let's start off with New Orleans, New England. Obviously, it's one of the two major games this week. We want it. You want some exposure to both of those games. Josh, I'm going to throw it to you first. Tell me about how you're approaching this first game, New Orleans and New England.
I love the game. It's my favorite game. Which one is y'all's favorite? This one or the Bucks?
I think
Falcons.
For me, as a more of a cash game guy, I like the other game a little bit more. There's a few more safer options. But as for this game, I think this game has got just some great options all around. Go everywhere.
Which one you like more, Pauly?
I like them both a lot. Obviously,
Me too.
I agree with Joe. Like, I think there's like three like cash-esque, like lock and load kind of players in the Green Bay game. But I think if nailing this game is more important to like winning the slate, because you can't exactly pinpoint who's going to get the big games here. So like, this is the game I want to break down a little bit more, get your guys' opinions, and this is the one where I think you'll set yourself apart. Whereas the other game, I think the ownership's going to be fairly, like aimed at the same spots. So and I think they're the right ones.
Yeah.
So this game I think is more important.
Yeah, in this game, of the four quarterbacks, I think Brady is my favorite. It's really splitting hairs between these guys, really. But
yeah.
I would go Brady as my number one.
Yeah.
And, oh, man. Kamara, I absolutely love him.
On DraftKings at 3.5.
I've heard, like, at the beginning of the week, like, when I watched that game, I watched that New Orleans and Vikings game.
Minnesota,
I was like, yeah, I love this dude. This dude is going to be, we need to get him in on this game because it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be up and down.
Yep.
He played more snaps than Ingram. AD didn't even barely play. He played more snaps than Ingram, and he got all the looks on routes. And this guy, I really love this guy.
It's annoying that they got the three tailbacks, though. Like
it is.
If like AD could get like an injury or a suspension, it'd be like a lot.
I'm not worried about him though. I'm worried about
AD can hit his kid.
AP.
No, it's AD. It's all day.
All day.
His nickname is AD all day.
Yeah. He's right about that, guys.
That's what I call him.
I got a question for you. Okay, so everybody this week is just absolutely sucking Chris Hogan's dick. They are fucking.
I love him.
I love him too. I'm not saying he's not great, but can't you envision a scenario where Cooks and Gronk and White or Gillislee score all the touchdowns, and Hogan is just more of a volume play? Like I think for GPPs, I don't like Hogan. For cash, I'm down, but I just think Cooks and Gronk offer way more upside.
I mean, I think Cooks is going to be the chalk. So I don't agree. I think Cooks is the chalk. I don't think nobody's going to go to Hogan. And I think Hogan's going to slide in that slot, and I think he's going to dominate.
I mean, you got to go.
I think that the Saints are going to try their best to stop Cooks. They're not going to let Cooks beat them. So I think it's going to be Hogan or Gronk, and I like White as well. But the team is loaded, so you never know. That's why we always don't like playing the Patriots, because you never know who's going to get the touchdown. You just got to make lineups with this combination, lineups with this combination, and just try to get it right. It's impossible to get it right. You never know what the fuck they're going to do.
For me, I'm taking a stand on Gronk. I'm putting Gronk in every lineup, and I just, he really wasn't much of a factor last game, and I think that's going to change. He wasn't a factor, and they lost, and now they have less receivers, and I think, the Saints defense has nothing that's going to guard him, and I think Brady's going to get him to a huge game, 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. I'm just locking in Gronk, and I don't mind throwing in Hogan. I'm really not going to Cooks. I mostly play DraftKings. He's just like a little too expensive for me out there. So
that's Cooks why I think Hogan is going to be way more highly owned on DraftKings than Cooks.
I mean, I don't know about way more, but
I don't know. I think he's going to be more higher owned just because he's 55-6.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the lineup construction so much easier. You get a piece of that game at any point. It's so easy to make a lineup. Just throw Hogan in there.
Sure.
Yeah, but all these fucking donkeys, they're going to look at week 1 and they're going to see the air yards with Cook, and they're going to be like, oh, we got to plug him in because he's going to be on the turf that he knows.
And the narrative.
All the narrative, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so we sitting here, we talked about 5-6 minutes all about the Patriots, and all we've mentioned is Alvin Kamara. Okay, we all know that the Saints or New Orleans is basically the Coors Field of the NFL. They put up some great totals and everything. So if you want to go the other side, I think, Breeze, what kind of a stack would you go if you were doing a Saint stack? Paulie?
That's it's tough. Like, you don't know what the Saints' identity is right now. They really made a major emphasis on those 3 running backs last week. Like, they all had 5, 6, 7 carries. They, AP didn't really get much in the pass game, but the other 2 guys both got about 5 catches, 6, 7 targets, and Mike Thomas was really a non-factor. Now, he was D'd up by a legit cornerback, but word is that the Patriots are going to be focusing on Michael Thomas, so that leaves you with Fleener, Ginn, and Coleman. Coleman's interesting to me, 3,300 on DraftKings. He was really a non-factor in that Falcons game, and I think that could change. It was almost like the Saints weren't trailing by enough to just completely, go to the pass last game. And, I don't know. It really depends on game flow here. I expect this game to be closer than people think. Everyone just thinks like the Patriots are going to run them over. And I think Drew Brees has,
They could win this game.
They definitely could. Exactly. I agree. I think they could win this game. I think it's going to be closer. So to me, I want to get either Kamara or Ingram. I like both of them. I'm a little cross. I know Kamara is more talented, but Ingram could get goal line carries. And, if you look back last year, he had a handful of games with, 2 touchdowns, 100 and change rushing. So the Patriots' run defense doesn't scare me. So I want one of the 2 backs. And you could even possibly play both if you want to get crazy just because they're so cheap. But I think that I'd go Breeze with a back and maybe a receiver, maybe Fleener. But it'd probably be Breeze and a back for me if I stack this game.
Could you even just play Breeze naked?
Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely.
I don't think that's bad either. What do you got, Josh, on the Saints?
And you could play Brady naked as well because we don't know where it's going to go. But
I like that
this
too.
Is the perfect test. This is a perfect test from what I said last week that the Patriots D is when I watched the game, they're not as good as what I thought they would be. Mm-hmm. So this is the perfect test. Is it true or are they going to play better? And they got some injuries. Like Hightower's not going to play. I'm pretty sure he's going to be out. I don't think he's playing. Mm-hmm.
You know, so, this is what the Patriots do every year. Their defense isn't that good in the beginning, and then Belichick, molds their squad, and by the end of the year, they're a lot better.
He's the greatest coach ever. So, and he's a defensive mind. So, I think that eventually they will be better just on coaching alone. I mean, even if the talent is not there, but I really think that, like last week, he shut down Kelce pretty much. He's going to do the same with Michael Thomas. He's not. He knows. Everybody knows Michael Thomas is the player on the Saints. So I would not. I won't have Michael Thomas in. He will be in 0 lineups. Like I won't have him in 1 lineup. I really like Ginn, and I like Coleman. Coleman played like 75% of snaps last week.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to run. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, but if he's on the field,
he's got the opportunity. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, at his price, he got the opportunity. So I like him. I don't think nobody really is going to go there.
Yeah.
But I really like Ginn. I think Ginn can break him deep. Like, I think Ginn, while he's not Hill, like, I mean, maybe he was 5 years ago. Like, he could, but he's still fast. He can do his thing. Yep. If they get him the ball, he can do his thing.
As long as he catches it. Sometimes he's got to drop.
He can't catch for the shit.
Of these 2 games, like, which one do you think is most likely to, like, shoot out? Like, if one's going to, like, dud, which one do you think has a better chance to dud?
The second one.
The Falcons.
I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
I really do. I don't know why, but I have the feeling that the second one has it. Like, everybody thinks it's going to go there, and it might just be a little score. If I was a betting man, I would bet. If I had to bet the under of either of those games, I'd bet the under of that game. My question here now, we've gotten stacks on both New Orleans and we've gotten stacks on the Patriots. We're doing a Patriot stacks. What's the correlation Saint that you want in there? How many? Do you want 1, 2? Do you want Fleener? Do you want what's his name? The guy who goes deep. I can't remember his name right now. We just talked about him.
Ginn.
Yeah. You want Fleener and Ginn. We don't want Thomas. So what do we want as a correlation play? So because a lot of times you win tournaments with a lot of correlation plays. So what do we do? Josh?
Yeah.
I mean, I would Kamara 100%. Like he will come back with him for sure. And Fleener, I didn't say nothing about Fleener, but Fleener is probably the cash play. Just at his price. It's just
his ownership.
There's a lot of cash game plays at the 3K level.
I know.
On DK this week, so we'll talk about that when we get to tight end.
I mean, I would go with Fleener just because of this game and the total. But I think this game has a better chance of shooting out because of New Orleans' offense. Like Atlanta can run the ball. New Orleans not going to be able to run the ball. I don't think. Like Atlanta can run the ball with Freeman, so they could slow it down if they wanted to. But I don't think they will. But that would be my reasoning. But Kamara for sure, Ginn and Fleener. But Kamara, I love him. I'm pushing my chips in with this dude.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I just by coming on here, you really you threw out a name that I didn't really think about. But after seeing what he did last week, seeing the touches that he got, and seeing how the game flow will probably be in his favor more than Ingram and AP. So if it's a pass, if they get in the 100%. Shootout, we know Kamara's going to be in there.
Yeah.
So
I don't see AP being a factor at all. Like you can just cross him off.
Zero.
He might get cut middle of the season. You watch. He keeps talking. I could see him getting cut.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's interesting because like when I went back and watched that game, the last drive when the Saints were trying to, it wasn't tie it because they're down by more than a touchdown, but trying to get a score. They kept dunking it to Ingram. Though. It was like 4 plays in a row to Ingram. So that was interesting to me. Like in the game, the key drive, so to speak.
Yeah, crunch time.
It was Ingram. So I felt during the game they were making an effort to get it to Kamara, and then in the crunch it was back to Ingram. So to me, either one of those backs is viable. Like Ingram always had those. He had like 4 big games last year, and it was always like in the game you didn't expect. I think like you can't just write him off. So for me, if I was going like a Brady Gronk stack, I'd run it back with Ingram and possibly Ingram and Kamara, or one of those 2 backs. And if you wanted to add a 4th, then I would add Coleman. And you still have a decent amount of money because Kamara's 3,500, Coleman's 32 or 33, Gronk's 6'9". Like you still have money for the other positions with that 4-piece.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, I think we've hit this game enough. Why don't we move to the Sunday night game?
Hold on. I got one more thing to say.
All right.
White like if the game is really going to be a shootout, I like White from New England.
Mm-hmm.
He would be my favorite running back.
Yeah, White is that. I mean, so New England's got 3 running backs, maybe even 4. It's like the same situation. And White was on the field the most, and he got the most touches, targets. Like Gillislee got the touchdowns, and if you have White, expect Gillislee to get the goal line work. But White's the kind of dude who can take a screen to the house from 30 yards out, and he's probably going to be lining up in the slot just a bit with what's his name injured. So Amendola. So he's got the ticket to more targets this week. And like you said, if the game gets going up and down, back and forth, he'll be the receiving back. He could get 10 targets this game. So I absolutely agree. And he's only 4K. Like on DraftKings, it's like 5 catches and 50 yards, and you're at 2.5x. Like I would say he's definitely going to get 5 catches and 50 yards. So he's definitely got a lot of upside, because if he gets in the box, then sky's the limit there. Like he can get you like 6x.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right, guys. So let's move down to Sunday night, down to Hotlanta, where we got Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers taking on Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. I really, really like this game. Obviously, I'll start off this one. As a cash game guy, to me at FanDuel, Matt Ryan is just the way you start your lineups, and then you got to go from there. But I think you can, Julio Jones, Ty Montgomery, those are like the 3 major cash plays. I mean, Ty Montgomery is basically the play of the week. I think even on both sites, he's more viable. I think on DraftKings because it is a full PPR site, but on FanDuel, he's still going to get the volume, and he's still just lock him in your cash games. But so we want to stack this game. Who are you more on, Paulie? Who are you more wanting to stack?
For me, it's absolutely the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, and on DraftKings, Rodgers is the cheapest quarterback. I'm guessing Ryan's the cheapest on FanDuel. I haven't even looked at FanDuel.
Yeah, it's true. It's weird.
I'm assuming that's why you said that. But to me, like the Falcons, they could use Ryan or they could go to the run game. He's to me the riskiest play of all 4 quarterbacks. Like with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is going to have his hand in every touchdown, with maybe the exception of one if Montgomery gets like a goal line carry. But otherwise, like Montgomery, you can pair up with Rodgers and expect 6 to 8 catches, and maybe even a touchdown pass. And then otherwise, it's going to be all Rodgers throwing the ball. And, I'm going to the guy that's going to be involved in all the touchdowns in a shootout kind of game. I don't see any way Rodgers doesn't have 303 touchdowns. Like that's his floor. So to me, it's Aaron Rodgers. And then you could really pair him with any receiver, but I'm leaning more towards Devontae Adams or Randall Cobb. Yes. I know Nelson's his boy, but Cobb got the targets last week, and Devontae was on the island with Sherman. So don't discount that he was didn't have the type of game that he usually does. So I could see Devontae having to come back here. The Falcons they have no pass defense, no defense at all, and I expect the Packers really to march up and down the field on them, and I'm surprised that the Falcons are even favored in this game.
All right, hey Josh, you talk a little bit. I gotta run outside. I'll be in 2 minutes. So you talk about what you want, Josh. Who you want first?
Yeah. Tell me what you like.
I definitely agree with the Rodgers. I would much rather have Rodgers over Ryan, but like he said, Ryan is so cheap on FanDuel that he's probably the cash play there.
What's the difference? How much cheaper is he than?
How much?
I think it's like
1,000. I think it is 1,000. Hold on, I forgot. Let me go look. I'll look at it real quick.
All right. But why are you looking at that?
Everybody's talking about Julio, and while he is the number one, I think he is the number one option at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be underweight. That's just something I didn't talk about last week really that much.
Uh-huh.
I do it a lot. You know what I'm saying? We're tournament players, so we both do this. There's plays that you really like. There's plays that you love. There's I like Julio, but I'm gonna be underweight.
Yeah,
overweight.
Me too. I agree.
Yeah, Kamara. Like I said, I'm pushing my chips in. That means I'm gonna be overweight by a lot.
Way
I don't think
overweight.
he's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be way. I don't think he's gonna be that high on. And
No.
I'm gonna be way overweight. But
Right.
Julio, I think I'm gonna go a little underweight. But my
Me too.
receiver for Green Bay is without question Adams. Like Trufant is gonna shadow. Like we talked about last week. Sherman don't move.
Yeah.
So Sherman didn't shadow Nelson. So
Yep.
we said Adams is the sacrificial lamb over there. They're going
And it was
to
true.
slam him over there every play.
Yeah.
And Nelson is going to be over here and do his thing. But Trufant is
Rock
going to
money.
go wherever Nelson goes.
Right.
So I love Adams. Adams
Yep. And
had
Cobb.
big games versus the Falcons last year.
Yep.
And I expect the same. He'll be
Yep.
my number one receiver in this game.
I
And Cobb looked
completely
really
agree.
good last week.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he did, man. He looks sharp.
He looked really good.
What about the Atlanta backfield? Like, I've actually been thinking about playing not Freeman, but the other dude,
Coleman.
Coleman, yeah.
Tevin Coleman.
I've been preaching like you got to play Coleman in the close game. So here's the first close game. I just see Coleman having additional targets if they're losing, and like if the game gets going back and forth, I just see him kind of becoming more of the focal point, or there's more routes to him becoming more of the focal point. The only way I see Freeman really going off is if the Falcons are leading, and if he busts a big run, somewhere throughout the game, and then if they're leading, he'll continue to get those carries. But if it's a shootout and it's back and forth, I see him kind of like his carries going down just a touch. And in week 1, they really split the touches pretty much down the middle. So I'm actually more interested in Coleman. I like the 2K discount on DraftKings, where I'm going to be filtering in Coleman just a bit more probably than the field, I think.
Well, Coleman, what I like about, I don't know about you, I watch him run, and he just looks like a better running back
He does.
than Freeman to me.
He does
Freeman
look
looks like a scat back, really small, like a good third down back, whatever. But Coleman's got that just a running back body that just looks like they drafted him, in the second round, I think a couple years ago. They wanted him to be, and then Freeman blows up. So, for me, like I look at this game and I think that we didn't talk about Marty B. I think he can make if you pair him with Rodgers, that's not a bad play because he's a good red zone target. It doesn't take much for him to make his value too. I like Cobb. I think one out of all the receivers, and then Adams, and then Nelson. Yeah. I just like the way that the targets were going to him, especially on DK where it's a full point.
Yep.
So, I think that this game is, like I said, we have more of a chance to be a lower scoring game, but this also has a chance to just go off too. Both teams could score over 30 points, be a really good Sunday night game. I think you need to have exposure to both. You're doing a lineup, Josh. You're doing a lineup with Rodgers. You got Cobb, and you got Marty B.
Josh would have Adams.
Okay.
Adams number 1.
Adams, Rodgers.
But,
who are you correlating that with? Julio? Are you correlating with Sanu? Are you correlating that with Coleman? Who?
I'm not.
You're not.
Like I said, when you was gone, I said I'm be way underweight on Julio. Like,
okay,
I'm not gonna have much Julio at all. I might just throw 1 or 2 teams in just in case.
Yeah.
But I think he is the number 1 play. But
you're just fading the chalk. Right? That's what you do.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I really believe that if I was coming back, it would be with, I want to say Gabriel. Like, Gabriel. I love that dude. I love
Gabriel or Sanu. Okay, yeah, I see that.
He has some big weeks. It'd be Gabriel or Hooper. I like Hooper as well. He was a fluke last week, of course, but I think he should get more than 2 targets in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. For me, it'd be Coleman, and that's the thing. Like, the Falcons are really not in much of my game plan. If I was playing cash, Julio's in that lineup. Mm-hmm. But for me, I'm really not on much of the Falcons in this game. And Coleman's the only guy that I'm really going to have any ownership to. Mm-hmm. And like Josh, I may have 1 or 2 like Julio teams, but I'm kind of fading him in tournaments. But 100% he'd be in my cash lineup. And then it's like, any one of those other receivers, I don't see having a huge game, but there's just like they could get 2 touchdowns if this game really shoots out. So it's hard. So for me, I just go to Coleman and, hope that I'm right, that it's like the Packers winning by 7 7-0, then 7-7, then 14-7, then 14-14, and like that kind of back and forth, where the Packers are in the lead and the Falcons have to continually answer and kind of go away from the run game.
All right. Like Sanu got the targets last week.
He did.
I just personally, Gabriel is just more talented to me, but Sanu did get more looks last week. So
yeah, Gabriel is tough, dude. Like there's so many options on this team that we're unsure of. Like I dropped Gabriel in my fantasy leagues. It's a 14 team. It's very deep, So like you're probably wondering why I was even on my team, but it's a very deep league, and I almost see him as like the odd man out in this offense right now with everybody healthy, and it's going to take like an injury or something to get him more involved. Now I could be wrong, but I'm a little cautious on Gabriel. Like I could see him just not getting the targets until an opportunity presents itself with like an injury or something.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, just last year was different. They had Shanahan there. The offense is different this year. So I don't know if this coordinator thinks that like Shanahan loved Gabriel. Like,
he loves him.
Swing it out, and he got so much speed. He's so shifty. He can break a 2-yard pass anytime. So that's why. But I just don't know if this offense is going to be the same. That's why Sanu got all these looks. I'm like, man, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Fuck Sanu, he sucks.
I know. I don't want it to be Sanu either. I don't want it to be Sanu either. But it might be him. He might be the guy. If the Packers double Jones, then it really opens up things for Sanu. And I agree that Hooper's going to get more targets than the 2 last week.
All right.
But I wanted to tell you, Paulie. Hold on, let me tell. Paulie asked me a question while he was gone. Mm-hmm. It's Brady 9.2, Rodgers 9.1, Breeze 8.7, and Carr is above Ryan, and then Ryan 8.2 on FanDuel.
Yeah, so he's a full 1,000 cheaper than Brady.
That's 1,000 cheaper than Brady. Yeah.
Okay. That's why he's a cash game. That's why he's the cash game quarterback for FanDuel tomorrow.
For FanDuel, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna do one game. We're gonna do it a little bit quicker than we've done the last 2. And then if you guys want to talk about a game, we can do that too. All right.
All right.
All right. So this game I want to talk about is Let me get it up here. Where was that game? Okay, I can't remember it now. Okay, Minnesota at Pittsburgh. Okay, so the reason why I want to talk about this game is that there's just some sick value on some of these Minnesota receivers. I also want to keep an eye on Xavier Rhodes is questionable. He did not practice, I think, on Friday. What? And if he doesn't play, I think that makes Antonio Brown literally goes from not playing to Xavier Rhodes doesn't cover him. I think it's going to be a bad switch. Yeah. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Le'Veon Bell, and then any other Pittsburgh you think is going to blow up, because I also think there's so many other options. Bradford is questionable too. So if Bradford,
the Bradford thing's been weird, man. Mm-hmm. He hasn't practiced.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he had that great game. You didn't see any, and then all of a sudden he's been hurt, and it's been suspiciously hurt to where I would not be surprised if he didn't play. Although I think he is going to play. I just it's just been weird the way that they've handled his injury all week. And so go real quick on that Xavier Rhodes. That's a really interesting matchup because Xavier Rhodes is big. He's 6'2", 210. He shut down Michael Thomas. But Antonio Brown's actually a tougher matchup for him. Antonio Brown's small and shifty. Antonio Brown could win that matchup. And if the Vikings found themselves in the lead, Brown could still have a big game here. I don't think you just write him off like you did Thomas last week against Xavier here. So, all right. It's a little bit different. It makes the passing game weird. If he's out, then, all the Pittsburgh receivers are in play.
All right.
No, Brown is
a
lot different than Thomas. Trust me. Brown is he is far and away superior to anybody I've ever seen on a football field. There's no way. Rhodes is great. No disrespect, dude. I think you're great. There ain't no way in hell he could stop AB. Never, never, not one-on-one. So that really pisses me off because I Oh man.
So you like Brown? Like, is a great pivot.
Yeah, I loved him. Hell yeah, he made me a lot of money last week too.
All right.
Because everybody was on Bell.
No, you did. No, I had him too.
We faded, and I had a lot of Brown.
Yeah.
That's how I made money, actually. But I was hoping that Rhodes would be in there, and then people would be scared of AB, and I would have some AB teams. And then I was also hoping that with Rhodes in there, they're gonna also have to bracket. They're gonna have to help him because, like I just said, Brown would destroy him. There's no way he could hold Brown down. Brown would destroy him. So they're gonna have to help him. So that would leave Martavis on this other side with which I was gonna have some Brown, and then either was gonna go one or two ways. There was gonna single coverage him with Rhodes, which would be crazy, and he would beat him, and then they would start bracketing, or they would just bracket from the beginning. And Bryant on the other side, like I would have a Brown team, some Brown teams, and some Bryant teams. I love Bryant.
Yep.
But now you tell me that sucks.
I think Rhodes is gonna play.
It's so funny. It's so funny because the contrasting styles of me being excited because now I can play Brown and you being fuck. It's a very, very funny dynamic, and I actually like it because it definitely gives people two different views, and Paulie's sort of like in the middle. He's more probably towards your side. It's like
he's definitely on my side.
Let me ask you this, and we might not talk about this. Do you like Devontae Parker tomorrow?
Yes. No, not Devontae Parker.
I mean, that's like he has the worst matchup all week. He's going against Casey Hayward. Everybody's saying don't play him. Now, this would be like the ultimate Josh play to me. Or am I?
No. He's not that crazy.
No, okay. Okay.
No.
All right.
No interest
that's
in that
good.
game, really.
You know who I like in that game now is because Verrett's out is Jarvis Landry.
I love Jarvis Landry.
Tomorrow,
yeah, he's gonna have a monster game.
Yeah,
but we're not done with this Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, no, I know. We can go there. Keep talking.
I mean, Bell is my number one.
Le'Veon Bell, yeah, Bell is huge to me. I think the recency bias, the uncertainty of like his role, is the team mad? Like, why didn't he get the touches? I think this is the lowest owned you're gonna get Bell all year, and I expect this game to be close. The line has moved in just a tad. Steelers opened at -7, now they're down to -6. So I think this game is going to be close if both teams are at full strength. I was really impressed with the Vikings. I don't want to overstress that because it was against the Saints and they were at home, but I expect this to be kind of a close defensive game, sort of. And I love Bell. Like, they're going to be forced to use Bell, and he's going to get the touches, in my opinion, on the ground and in the pass game. And he's at low ownership, I'm all over Bell. I'm trying to get him in every lineup.
How do you see?
Yeah, Minnesota? I love it, and it's also roster construction. There's so many cheap guys that motherfuckers are gonna go to these cheap guys. I'll put Bell and Zeke in there and say fuck y'all. Oh, yeah. I'm going the total opposite way.
Exactly. Top. It's I put this in my article. The chalk build, and it's going to be extremely chalky this week, is going to be Brady, Cooks coming back with, either a Julio or a Thomas, or Rodgers and Nelson coming back with who. Like, there's not going to be that much money for running backs this week. And a lot of people are going to be playing Ty Montgomery at 5'8". So, to go against the field, you can go with a more balanced approach, pay up at running backs, and pay down at your quarterback receiver combo. And we'll get to a few of those down, in the show. But that's the approach I want to take. I'm not going with any of the big four for the bulk of my teams. I'm stacking, quarterbacks with upside with a cheaper receiver, and then paying up. I can get Zeke and Bell and Gronk if I want, and that's how I think you take on the field this week.
Okay, so what about the Minnesota side? Because I don't think Dalvin Cook's going to be able to run like he did on Monday. So I think it's going to be Diggs, Thielen, Rudolph. I mean, they all got great matchups. Joe Hayden is a shell of himself.
I mean, Diggs and Thielen are way too cheap.
Yes, Thielen
that's
is like
first and foremost
criminally cheap on DK. He's 1,000 less.
So let me tell you why. All right, the algorithm does its thing Sunday night. It doesn't take into account Monday night game.
Obviously,
this is something to look for all season long. Is price discrepancies on the Monday night game played guys. Mm-hmm. It's something that just, it's like really, I don't know, it's known, but it's not really known. It's not discussed as much. But there's always value on changes, injuries, or just guys that went off on Monday, especially early in the year, that you can get at a good value. So that's, those two guys.
Cook. No, I agree. I think Cooks is still playable though. Like I believe he could catch. If he could catch 5 passes for sure. I mean, I don't think he's going to run like against the Saints. Of course, Pittsburgh's defense is better, but they're not.
Shut down Crowell last week.
Yeah, they're not. He's going to be able to run, but I believe he can catch passes too. Like especially if Bradford's hurt. Like if they're going to,
that changes.
They'll be blitzing him, and then he's not going to be mobile. He's not mobile in the first place. He's going to be less mobile. So you just shoot it out here, and then Thielen too. I mean, Diggs. They all just run short little routes.
If Bradford's hurt, I think Pittsburgh blows them out, and I probably don't play any Vikings, and we'll have my Le'Veon and maybe a receiver.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that.
Yeah,
but it does suck.
And I really don't have much interest in that Vikings running back. Like I agree, he might have some. He's not totally unplayable.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
I won't have any of them.
Yeah, but he's not going to get shut down though. He could be a good play, but I don't think I'll have any.
Yep.
Any other games you guys want to talk about before we move on to positions?
I mean, why don't we talk about that Dolphins-Chargers game?
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. It's not a bad way to go. You can go very many ways here. By the way, I remember...
The line is heavily coming in towards the Dolphins. The Chargers opened up as 5-point favorites. It's now down to 3.5. Yeah. More than likely going to settle at 3. So that's got to tell you something. That's got to tell you a lot. And the Chargers are coming off a short week. Dolphins are coming off a bye.
Okay, but you could also flip that as, week one rust. They might have it. These starters haven't played in 3 weeks. Okay. And the Chargers have a game under their belt. So, I mean, we'll see. If they win, and then it was rust. If the Dolphins win, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's. I feel like I hear that more about the Dolphins this week than I do about the Bucs. Is that because, that's because Dolphins have to travel, but they've been out. They've been out practicing in Oxnard, which is just about an hour north of where the Chargers play, and it's.
Oh yeah. They've been out there for a while.
Yeah,
they've been out there all week practicing.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
I think, obviously on both sides, Phillip Rivers is absolutely criminally underpriced. I don't care what the matchup is. The Chargers could lose this game. He's still going to throw a lot, and he's going to throw to Allen. He's going to throw to Gates. He's going to throw to, Tyrell Williams. He's going to throw to Travis Benjamin again. I'm going to play him in like a GPP like every week just because they're going to throw deep to him at least 2 or 3 times every week.
Yep.
So I like that. And then on the other side, you guys, on Wednesday, you guys were talking about Jay Cutler. Look, I went to so many games when he was with the Broncos, and like literally, there was a verb, Cutler will happen. Okay, the guy loves to throw interceptions. All right, so like Cutler will happen. 2 things: Cutler hates your grandma and he skins cats. I've known 2 things, and Cutler will happen. All right, so look, he's coming back. This is his first game. Okay, this is his first game back. Like, I don't know, Ingram and Bosa, they get into him. Like, he's at least gonna fumble at least twice. I don't know. I think that even though somehow the Chargers will screw it up and manage to lose, they'll get like 4 picks on Cutler. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's what I think. I think the only way the Dolphins win this game is Jay Ajayi. So if you play him, that's my question to you guys.
No, hell no.
Last year, he ran all over the Chargers last year. Just let you know.
And I'm really low on Ajayi. Like, last year, he did his damage when they put that sixth offensive lineman in there. That's not gonna. People are gonna be ready for that. They weren't ready. If you go and watch his game, the games that he just fucking went wild. They put in an extra offensive lineman.
A lot of it also came late in the fourth too. Like he in both 200 yards. Yeah, because he's 200 yards games, but they were winning, so game flow was in favor of him. And like in the fourth quarter, he took like a 60-yard run to the house twice to like get him from like a good game to a phenomenal game. You know,
it doesn't always.
I really respect the Chargers D. Like,
yeah, me too.
I really respect them. I think they're really good.
Even my
favorite player in this game. Yeah, I mean, even without him out, yeah. But my favorite play is Allen by a lot. Like, Gordon is a chalk. I like Gordon. I mean, he's a volume play. He's playable every week just because he's going to get all the volume.
Yep.
But I love Keenan Allen. Like,
his matchup is great.
Yeah, his matchup's phenomenal. And we saw, week one that Phillip Rivers is going to be throwing to him, that he likes him and he's capable.
Until he gets hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, until he gets hurt. Exactly.
So ride him.
He's probably going to be pretty popular. Yeah, 5'8". I think he might be, like the most popular player, not on the Saints or the Packers games. Like,
I have him in right now. I have him in my DK cash game lineup. I have him and Rivers as my cash game, quarterback receiver.
Exactly. So the Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen is definitely on DK a cheap quarterback receiver combo that has 2 touchdowns, 200 yards passing written all over it, and it just allows you to get way more balanced of a team than the Brady and Breeze and Rodgers combination team. So this is definitely one of those that we mentioned for sure.
Yeah, I just don't have no plays on my team. Like Jarvis Landry, he's a good play for Landry. DK because he could get 12 targets, but
Landry on DK
I won't have him.
Is the play. Like we got the cornerback that's going to shut down Parker. And then we've got a fast pass rush, so he's going to have to check down the slot receiver. That's Cutler back in the day on the Bears, like he used to love hooking up with Eddie Royal, and then like he will find a check down guy and just use him all game. So Landry has a lot of upside. I can see him getting a lot of targets. I expect the Chargers to be beating this game. I expect the Dolphins to try and keep pace with the run, and eventually have to abandon that to stay in the game. And I think Landry will have a big game. And if I was doing the Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen stack, I'd bring it back with Landry.
Yeah, this Miami offense is going to be a dink and dunk. It's going to be that's the kind of offense it is. It's going to be the same offense that Cutler had towards the end of his
in the Bears. His best season with the Bears was with this coach.
Yeah, it's going to be the same. It's going to be so that makes Landry in play every week for sure. Yep. And a cheap tight end I like in this game. I like Thomas.
Yeah, I don't mind Thomas. I really don't mind Thomas.
He's so cheap, and Cutler loves to target his tight end in the red zone. Like, it's just he just looks at the big dude in the red zone all the time.
Yep. And Thomas is talented, and he's big.
And he's very cheap.
Yep. I agree with that.
All right, guys. Any other? Josh, you got any other game you want to talk about? Then we'll move on to positions.
Nah, I'm good.
No, we're good. All right, guys. Let's move on to quarterbacks. I'm gonna throw it to you, Paulie. Obviously, we've talked about a couple already. I'll throw it to you. Just maybe talk about maybe some other GPP options at quarterback that you like. Throw it to me. I'll throw out little cash games, and we'll throw it to Josh.
All right. So all week long, I've just been kind of like throwing out little flyers to you guys on this play, and I know it's crazy, but Blake Bortles 4,400 on DraftKings to me.
I don't hate it, bro. I don't hate it.
Like 4,400, and Marquise Lee. So they're going to be dressing 3 receivers. That's it. It's Marquise Lee, it's Allen Hurns, and Keenan Cole. Right. So nobody's ever heard of Keenan Cole. He's not in play. Allen Hurns and Marquise Lee are 3,800 and 3,900. So
who gets more attention?
It's hard to say. I would guess Lee. Like if you look back at those games.
Hold on. From the defensive side, you talking about like the defense is gonna put more.
Who's gonna get no? Who's gonna get more? Who's gonna get more targets? Who's gonna get more looks? Who would you want to have it between Lee or Hurns if you could only have one? I know you could have both, but I mean, who would you rather have? Because I think that's the question.
I would go Lee. I'd go Lee.
Me too.
I think he's the red zone target. He's taller, but Hurns is just as capable. But they were looking at trading Hurns in the preseason, so I think it's going to be Lee falling into the Allen Robinson role. So there's going to be more of those plays designed for him. It'd be Lee for me, and I love the the Bortles Lee stack. It's 80 something. It's 9,300 combined. No, 8,300 combined. And I'll roll it back with Delaney Walker. The Jags got stud cornerbacks that I think will give the Titan receivers fits, and Mariota's going to have to come down and go to his favorite target in Delaney Walker. So with that, you have about 6,400 for the rest of your positions. After you chuck in a D, you got almost $7K for the rest. And if you look back the last three games, Bortles has thrown. He had a 5-touchdown game. He had a game where he caught a touchdown, and he's thrown for 300 yards, just about all three of them. These games have shot out. Everyone thinks it's going to be like this defensive game, and it really might not. I think that the Jaguars D looked great last week, but it was against a much inferior team. I think the Titans will be able to score. They'll get out in front, and then Bortles will be forced to throw. And this stack could really, really pay off, like 10x style. And then you have so much money for the rest of your players. I really love it, and I'm probably going to be like 60, 70% with these two and just kind of going to war with Blake Bortles.
I mean, that's a little crazy. I don't think the idea is crazy at all. Is there any other GPP quarterbacks you like?
Yeah. So there's two more I really, really like. Jameis Winston, I am starting to like more and more as we get closer to lock here. I just, I don't see him really struggling too much with the Chicago defense. Chicago's on the road. Last week they were at home. First game of the year against the Falcons, a team with a bad D. The Tampa Bay's got a good defense, and at home opener, emotion, all that stuff. I could see them kind of running over the Bears, and they don't have anyone to match up with Evans or Deshaun Jackson. I think Jameis could really have a field day. Even Cameron Brate, I like.
Make America great again.
Exactly. I see Jameis having 303 touchdowns, pretty much no problem, and with upside for a bit more. So I liked him a lot. And Kirk Cousins is actually starting to grow on me. Washington really kind of shit the bed week one. This is kind of like a must-win game if they're going to compete this year. And they go in to face a tough Rams defense.
Aaron Donald's back.
And the Rams could very easily take a lead here. And last year we saw Cousins, continually go over 300 yards passing. I really have no faith in their run game. And, I think he's going to be crazy low on like 1% here. The Rams don't really have cornerbacks that I respect. Love pairing him up with Terrell Pryor. Pryor should have had a big game last week, but he dropped 2 touchdowns. And, he's got at least 3 inches on any cornerback the Rams have. Nobody's going to have this, and it's very easily Cousins could have 300 yards passing, trying to, keep the Redskins in this game. And Pryor could be the benefactor of 2 red zone touchdowns, and that could really pay off very well.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to throw out. Obviously, you guys play a little bit more on DK from what I'm seeing here, so I'm going to throw out a little bit of a pivot for QBs on FanDuel. Obviously, I like Rivers. We talked about that. The price is great, and we like the top 4: Ryan, Brady, Breeze, and Rodgers. That's fine. If you want to pivot of all those guys and almost have a pretty chalky lineup after that, pivot to Russell Wilson tomorrow, 8,100 on FanDuel. He has a good ceiling. He wants to come back. If that line can give him any time at all, I think he's going to have a good day. I like him, especially he's the same price as Ryan, pretty much. He's 8,100, and you can almost have the same lineup build and fade Ryan if you think he's not going to be great, especially in GPPs. Basically, though, guys, that's all I got. You guys know who I like in cash. I like Ryan. You could pay up for Brady, Breeze, and Rodgers and DK. On FanDuel, but it's just a little bit higher. And then on DK, Rivers is at 5.8. It's hard for me to get off of that because I can go so many other places for my cash game. But Russell Wilson is my GPP quarterback as a pivot off of the other top 4.
Yeah, I agree with Russ, but he's even better play on DraftKings where he's 6,800. He's a bit cheaper. I definitely think you pair him up with what's his name? Baldwin. I have very little respect for San Francisco's defense and their corners especially and their safeties. So Seattle's offensive line is not good. This is not a secret. I really don't expect them to run very much, and I think they're going to have to do much of it in the air. They're at home. It's their home opener. I see Wilson throwing for 3, and I like that call a lot.
Too, so
it's they're big favorites. I expect them to win, but they're going to win probably like 35-10, 28-12, like big scores where he'll throw 3 or 4 touchdowns or maybe even run one in. I like Wilson. He's probably like 4th, 5th on my list, like in terms of quarterbacks.
All right, Josh, who you got?
Yeah, he was 5th on my list. Me and Joe had the same exact quarterback list, which nice. I like your list. I like your list, man.
That's crazy that we would have the same quarterback list.
Yeah,
really
my receivers, my top 5 receivers. Wait, I would like to say, I don't have as much research on that. Like I don't really start my research till I do a little bit Wednesday night for the Thursday night game, but then I really start hitting it on Thursday, Friday night a lot. I watch a lot of games Friday night. Yeah. But Wilson, I love Wilson. Like everybody talks about Big Ben, like his home road splits. Go check out Russell Wilson's home road splits. They're almost as bad. So if Wilson is at home, I love him. Yeah, go check them out. They're bad. Last 2 years, I believe I looked at the 2 years. Bad. He's much better at home. He's a home quarterback, but the offensive line does suck, which does suck. But I would like to say about the 49ers defense, the defense was pretty good. It was looking good until Foster got hurt. All just went to shit. Like one player went out. It just they just ran all over him. Like the 49ers, like I would have won so much more money last week. I had so much Hoyer. Like Hoyer was everywhere for me, and I still made a profit. Made like almost 700 on FanDuel. I lost 112 on DK. But if Hoyer just does anything, like motherfucker scored 4 points on FanDuel.
I know, man.
If he just does anything, I win a lot more money.
And so was that like a tribute to the Carolina D, or was that just like the 49ers offense was that off that week?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna have a hard time tomorrow.
He looked.
Yeah,
I had some Hoyer too. Man. I thought me, Paul. I thought the Niners were gonna win the game.
Yeah,
I was trying, you know what I mean. So I was on Hoyer too. I like that stack. I'm going to like Garcon almost every week this year, just from volume alone. I just don't like him this week.
I like him again this. I mean, I like him this week again because of
he's
volume.
A decent. You know what it is? He's a decent pivot in the GPP off of all of those other
nobody's
chalky guys that are in that same area.
Nobody's playing Garcon. Everybody played Garcon last week. Nobody's going to play him this week.
I can have
a
couple Garcon shares. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I like him because they're going to have to throw a lot. They're going to be down. They're going to be throwing a lot. I mean, it might be 4-yard fucking passes like it was last week. Dude he looked awful. Hoyer looked awful. I don't know what the hell happened. Because he's respected. I respect him. I think he's okay. Yeah, like I said about McCown last week. I mean, I thought McCown is a respectable quarterback and run a fucking offense. But he looked terrible. But I really like Russell Wilson because he can also run in. Like he might have two rushing touchdowns on top of throwing a couple to Baldwin. Yeah.
Escaping the blitz. Actually, that just brought up a question for me. Did any of you guys have interest in Carr on the Raiders?
I mean, I have interest every week with Carr just because they throw the ball so.
I think he's going way under the radar. That's the thing.
Yeah, me too.
I just don't know. I could see. Okay, so obviously we have a question here when we get to running backs. I mean, we're almost done with quarterbacks, so we can maybe transition. But
I got a couple.
Running backs or quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks.
Okay. All right. So basically, Carr is going. I just think with Carr, I don't know how the production is going to be there. I could see Lynch getting a couple touchdowns tomorrow too. So we're going to talk about Lynch and his ownership and stuff in a little bit when we get to running backs. There's a question in the chat. So what other quarterbacks do you like, Josh?
Well, we already touched on Winston. We like Winston. We like Rivers, of course. I have interest in Tyrod Taylor every single week. I mean, just because of the rushing ability, like he could run for over 100 yards anytime. Yep. So I always have interest. I mean, he's never owned, and
always
that's why I have interest. Yeah, I always have interest. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going heavy on Tyrod. No, I'm not. But I will have one Tyrod team. I have at least one Tyrod team every week, just in case. And he did great last week. Nobody had him.
Yep. And you'll have him naked, or you're gonna stack him up?
Always. No. I mean, if I stacked him, it would be with Clay because he's the only option I really would go to. But yeah, it's always naked. It's only rushing. It's for rushing.
It's for rushing. I agree. The rushing quarterback is so valuable in DFS and in fantasy season long that the one game where he does run for the 100 yards, like on Thursday night, a quarterback I'm really starting to grow on, Houston, the dude from Clemson.
Deshaun Watson.
You saw that one running play, Deshaun Watson, 50-yard run to the house, 14 points. Like, he made his value on that play alone. And then anything else the guy does with that is gravy, and he's low price. So absolutely, running quarterbacks like Tyrod Taylor, Watson, you always have to, have a little piece.
What was it last year? It was either last year or the year before. I had Mariota, and nobody played him. Nobody had him. He ran like an 80-yard run, and my money went from to woo because nobody had him. I had a lot.
Wait. What did it do?
My money was down here, and then it went woo.
It's almost like that's like a different version of the Ric Flair.
But I got a couple quarterbacks that y'all are probably gonna hate.
All right, hit me with them.
That I'm high on. I love going cheap at QB. So
yeah, that's
I love McCown. I love. Like they're gonna have to throw the ball so much. They're gonna have to throw the ball a lot. They suck. There's no hiding that. Everybody knows that.
TK, mute his mic.
No. So I really like McCown.
The Raiders are like
He's
the
gonna
best
have to throw the ball
defense
a lot.
He is. I just don't know.
I told y'all not gonna like these. He's in play because of his price and how much he's gonna have to throw.
He is.
The other one.
He's so cheap.
All right.
What is it?
What receiver would you pair him up with?
I forget the price.
I know. Okay,
I would
this
pair
is
him
the
with
funniest thing.
Curse.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I know that I don't want to go back to Philip Rivers, but I noticed this though that like Jimmy Garoppolo is priced higher than Rivers.
Jimmy Garoppolo is priced higher than a lot of quarterbacks. It's weird.
It's stupid.
So stupid. I mean, it's like even if Breeze is out, Brady in the middle of the game, like it's not like, oh well, God, I'm glad I had that, that share of, Garoppolo at 5'9".
All right, so it's so weird.
Let's go back to
Curse.
What's the other?
Curse got a lot of targets, so I would pair him with Curse or Stewart. Stewart looked good last week. I don't
5 targets.
I won't play him with Robbie Anderson because, like we said last week, he's just a deep guy. Like I don't trust that he's gonna catch a deep pass. So it would be Curse or him.
Okay.
And my other quarterback would be Palmer. I mean, there's no DJ. Palmer sucks.
And no Brown.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I like DJ, Palmer way more than McCown.
Yo, no DJ and no John Brown. That's very big.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not very high on John Brown, but he did get the targets last week, which surprised me. But Fitz is in another great matchup, which I hate Fitz. I
he's the only option.
Week, but
JJ Nelson.
But I hate him. I don't play him.
JJ Nelson is going to catch a bomb tomorrow because the guy that's
love JJ Nelson
cannot cover his speed. There's no way. Cooper
Kupp
love him. Just burned him last week, and Cooper Kupp ain't as fast as JJ Nelson.
And I
love JJ Nelson.
3,800 on DK.
So cheap.
He's my dude. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to be he was the guy I thought was going to get the targets instead of John Brown. Was going to be he announced was the second wide receiver.
Yeah, he did get 6 targets. He got 6 targets and a touchdown.
Yeah, I love him. That's who I would pair with him. I don't play Fitz. Fitz lost me a lot of money twice. I had nut lineups twice with Fitz. Just the nuts everywhere. Nuts. And Fitz goes out and does shit. So I hate Fitz. He's one guy.
You gotta have a short memory in DFS though, because
I know. Fitz
should go off this week. Fitz is definitely
exactly. He's a good cash play. He's a good cash play, and I don't give a shit about cash. I do play cash in the NFL, but
he could get 2 touchdowns.
I do 80% GPP, 20% cash.
Yeah.
Fuck Fitz. He's a great play though. Y'all should play him. I won't play him. Fuck him.
It's true. Hey, we all have our biases. I understand though, Paulie's thing. Okay, guys, we need to move on. We need to move on to running backs. Okay.
Is the producer in here?
I would like to say Goff.
No. I just we've already had an hour.
Good. I like Goff.
Goff. Okay.
Goff.
All right.
Yeah.
I could see that too.
Goff and Kupp.
Okay.
Love Kupp.
And Wisco says fuck Trevor Bauer. All of a sudden. So thank you, Wisco. Boobs. All right. So let's move to running backs. I think we've killed quarterback to death when we're picking up, we're talking about McCown and stuff. But I like Palmer and Goff.
Hey, man,
bad.
Put him in there. I'm telling you. Have a McCown lineup, y'all.
That would be crazy. All right, so
you can fit whatever you want.
You can fit whatever you want. You can.
Damn, dude. You're telling like Josh McCown is like the biggest fucking bukkake whore. You can fit whatever you want. All right, cool.
He's gonna throw a lot.
I swear to God, CK is
CK
probably
just fell off his chair.
Falling off of his chair right now. I just said bukkake whore. You can fit in anything you want. All right.
Oh shit!
All right. That being said, running backs. The guys I like that I'm having a little bit. We've talked about Le'Veon Bell a little bit, and I like him personally. He's a little bit more expensive than I like to play, but if you want to pay up to be contrarian, Bell's cool. My guys that I like is I like Ezekiel Elliott as a just a volume play.
I like Zeke.
The only way that they're going to win the game
Great play.
is when I like him in cash and GPP. And then on the other things, the mid-range for me, I got three guys. I got Hunt, I got Gordon, and I like Todd Gurley. And more of a GPP play. I think we should get our Todd Gurley for the next couple weeks because after that, it's going to be terrible. And where you're going to make the value this week in running back is in the lower. There's so many like value options on, especially on DK, more than FanDuel. But Ty Montgomery is obviously the chalk play of the week. Everybody loves him. It's kind of hard to fade him. Other guys I'll bring up, just value plays. Kerwin Williams, Tariq Cohen, Jacquizz Rodgers at 4,400 on DK is just absolutely criminal. He's going to get all the carries this week. And James White, 4K, we talked about Alvin Kamara. So, Josh, I'm going to throw it to you. Who do you got? Everybody else, you guys know I like. So, and who do you got? I just read the comments on the page, so.
Bell and Kamara, I love. White, Zeke. Zeke is a great play because Denver's D. You know, saying you don't want to pick wide receivers against them, but yeah, I love Zeke. Zeke ran what was it? He ran 31 routes last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Career high. Never ran that many routes.
He's catching more passes.
Obviously, he's going to be involved in the pass game as well, which I fucking love, especially on DK. But I love Zeke. I think he's a marvelous play. No, I don't think nobody's going to go there, right? I mean,
nobody's going to go there. I like it.
No, nobody's going there. I love
marvelous.
to put Zeke and Bell. I love it. Nobody's going there, and both of them have 30-point upside.
Yes, I love that. I'm going to have a lot of Zeke and Bell with my Bortles and Lee combos. I like it a lot.
That's how you be contrarian, everybody. You pay up.
That's how you win.
Contrarian.
That's how you win money. Yes.
Yes, I agree.
I love Lynch. I'm coming down off of Lynch a little bit. I had him ranked number 2 in my running backs. I'm coming off because I love him. He looked beast mode
great.
for sure. Yeah,
Yo, he
was
looked
awesome
real
on the
impressive.
field. Damn right. I was very surprised. Like I was expecting a little rust.
Me too.
A year of not even playing. A year older. Like I was like, oh, this guy, he's gonna be okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna rush him a bunch. Oakland is going to the playoffs. Let's just mark it down. Oakland's gonna go to the playoffs, so they want to save Lynch, and they should dominate this game.
Yeah, he's not gonna get the usage.
That's why I'm coming down off of something. He could still get 2 touchdowns, of course. Yeah. But I'm coming down a little bit. But I think he's a great play. Just if he would get the volume, he might be my number 1.
Well, I think I would use him in your McCown and Curse stacks, right? Because that would make sense.
He's a better FanDuel play, by the way, because of the touchdown upside.
Yeah,
but I do like Lynch.
I agree. I like him a lot more earlier. I don't see using Lynch on DK. He's more absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Good. Who else do you like? Who else like Josh?
Ty is the ultimate chalk. Like Ty will be chalk, and I will be overweight. I'm gonna have.
So you're in it too. So everybody, when somebody who hates the chalk, guys, Josh hates the chalk, and he's playing him. So that's telling you.
That's MLB more. I will eat chalk in football a little bit.
I understand MLB.
If it's a
so
great
much
play,
easier to fade the chalk. I agree.
Yeah. But Ty, I'm going to be overweight. That's as simple as it is. Gordon just gets the volume. Love Gordon every week. Just volume. Same with Gurley. Loved Gurley last week. He paid off for me big because I was way overweight on Gurley. Love Gurley again. Fournette. This is my dude. Like, you want to go to the passing side? I want to go to this side because the only way the Jaguars have any chance of winning any games now is to run the football. They gotta rely on this defense. This defense is fucking great. I said it last week. I'll say it again. This defense is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be marvelous. So I'm gonna go Fournette. Fournette's a beast, man. Fournette is a beast. The only problem is the Ivory in the field too. Yeah, I love him.
He'll go completely.
The only problem is like the Ivory is back there. So they gave the ball to Ivory more than I liked last week. I was kind of mad. But Fournette is a great play. Kerman Williams, I don't trust him. Like, I don't trust him. That's a wait-and-see approach for me. That's why I like Palmer a little more. And I think Ellington has more talent, but for some whatever reason, they're going to play this guy. Ellington is more talented.
I agree, man. I completely agree. Like, to me, I scooped Ellington in season long. He's got game-breaking talent, you know.
Yes.
Although Kerman Williams, you know, he does.
I mean, I haven't seen enough yet.
He's averaged over 5 yards a carry. He vultured a touchdown last week from DJ. Like, you know, in his small sample size, he actually has performed well. And I guess, you know, the Zona team probably knows more than we do, and that's the reason he's starting. Yeah. So, like, I don't want to ignore that. But that running back field, I don't expect – like, I don't like either guy just because I don't think either one will get enough touches. And I'm on the pass side of that game as well.
I mean, if he does get the touches, he should be awesome because
he definitely pay off. Yeah,
talks a big dick. Yep. Yeah, but I don't trust him because he might say he goes out and misses a couple of protections or what I'm saying, just messes up. Then maybe they slap in Ellington. They signed Chris Johnson off the street as well after they cut him too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not gonna play him. And my donkey plays of the week is Buck Allen. Huge donkey play.
Yeah.
Just don't play him. It's just not a good play. You just don't play the dude. He's gonna be super high owned. He's not that talented. And if I'm playing a running back in that game, it'll be West because they should be ahead. And West is a better running back. Buck Allen is the receiving. He's the receiving running back.
Yeah, I hear
he's
you
a donkey
that.
play and Cohan, whatever the fuck his name is, Cohan, donkey play. Do not play him. Just don't play him. That's a donkey move. Like, you shouldn't play DFS if you play him, in my opinion, because he's gonna be super high on too.
And definitely not on FanDuel. If you play Tyreek Cohen on FanDuel, something wrong with you.
Guys, just a little bit of breaking news here. Vikings activate QB Kyle Slaughter from the practice squad. Sam Bradford is questionable. That's even more things coming against the Vikings.
Motherfucker.
Yo, if that guy, is that the backup? Is that like...
No, but he would be the backup. He would be the you know what I'm saying? So they're thinking Bradford's out. They start the backup. This guy's got to be the backup to him. That's why
Bradford's
backup to the backup.
Yeah. Who's the actual backup?
I don't even know.
CK, find out for us in the back. CK. Yes.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. I don't know yet, but it's just that's what I'm seeing here on Twitter. Okay.
I mean, and it's a precaution. Like, Bradford might play, but he goes out the first series and he can't go. So that's
Case Keenum. Oh God.
Wow.
Case Keenum. Ugh. Well,
Bradford doesn't play, man. Like, Pittsburgh defense, you got to lock them in.
Yeah, that's almost a lock. I mean,
and it takes me it takes some of my, like, I don't love his Bell. I don't love Bell as much.
Yeah, they might not need him.
I don't love AB as much. I don't love Martavius as much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It almost makes the game like a bit of a cross-off for me because Pittsburgh will just blow them out. Yeah.
Or win like 23-0, and that's it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what's his name? Will kick like 3 field goals. They'll score 2 touchdowns and just run the game out with Connor and what other dipshit they have to run the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, Paulie. Running backs.
So I mean, with that breaking news, that's something to definitely keep your ear to. if Bradford is playing, Le'Veon Bell is my number one running back. We're going to get him at the lowest ownership all season. I love that. Ty Montgomery, he was on the field for 90% of the plays last week, and they wanted him in for more. The 3 plays he didn't play, he called himself out because he was out of breath. He twisted his ankle. So, he's just the usage monster. We saw what Tariq Cohen did to Atlanta last week. Ty Montgomery is certainly going to be
better.
in position to do that and more. I love this guy. He is going to be highly owned, so there is some merit to fading him in tournaments. But for cash, lock his ass in at 5,800 on DraftKings. I agree with the Melvin Gordon statement, the usage. Miami's defense is not very good. So I like Melvin Gordon. Since the beginning of this podcast to now, Mark Ingram has just risen up my charts at 4,900 on DraftKings. He got 6 targets. I expect him to get more carries. I'm really into Mark Ingram, and I like Kamara. I like them both. I think I'll have Ingram or Kamara on the bulk of my teams. Zeke Elliott, I really agree with. Denver was the 23rd ranked defense against running. They're the first super elite against passing, so Dallas is going to be forced to do what they love and run the ball with Zeke. And the increase in pass routes now that I forget the guy's name, but Dallas had a backup running back that was the 3rd down guy last year. He's now gone. Zeke is now the 3rd down back as well, so you're going to add some targets. He definitely has 30-point upside. Love Zeke. Don't mind Lynch. Like we said, we expect the Raiders kind of win handily. So, he's dropping down my list just a bit. And then Christian McCaffrey, I'm going to be playing every week.
That's your boy. That's your cargo.
He's my boy.
Why can't I quit you, Christian? Why can't I quit you?
I believe in the talent. What's his name? That other running back that's vultured the receiving touchdown last week. That's not going to happen often. And you'll see that he will start to grow in this offense. He's going to have the blowout game. Don't ignore him. Have a few shares because he's going to put up a 40-burger with a punt return. So roll in the defense. It's coming. It's going to happen. This guy's a freak. And if you watch the game, you were definitely impressed with his performance. And I think it's going to lead to more carries.
What about Kareem Hunt? None of you guys asked that. And Paulie, I got another question for you.
All right.
Okay, Hunt. Bradford is out. Wait, here's question number 2 after Kareem Hunt. Bradford is out. Bradford is out. Now you're off of Bell. You're onto the Steelers D. Who are you putting in with Zeke if you're paying up at running back now? Is it McCoy? Is it Gordon? Is it Gurley? Who is it?
It'd probably be Gordon.
Okay. And then now Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. I have a lot of probably.
No.
I don't know.
He's not that. He's too talented to be a donkey play.
I'm just saying, his usage though last week was not what you'd want to see for. We want to see that usage go up. That's what I'm saying. His snap rate. That's all.
Yeah,
he's not going to catch that rate of return. He can't sustain that. So
and I agree.
And Philly's a much better defense. Their main weakness is in the secondary, but their front seven's pretty legit.
Front 7 is good. Yes.
I don't like Hunt in this spot, but I do like Hunt a lot going forward. I probably won't have too much of him here. I just think his ownership's going to be higher than what it should be, and it's a tougher defense. Guys coming off those monster games, recency bias is such a real thing in fantasy. There's going to be guys with KC stacks. It's going to be, Hunt, Hill, and the quarterback. That was the winning combo last week from the Thursday to Monday slate. So people are going to be on that. I won't be. I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach on Hunt, see how he does. Gurley, I'm off of. Leonard Fournette, I'm glad you mentioned that. In the teams I do not have my Bortles and Lee combos, I will have Leonard Fournette as my hedge.
Yeah, I was wondering because I was looking at you when I said it. I thought you didn't like it.
No, I love Leonard Fournette. Right.
If he runs on Houston like he did, why could he not be able to run on Tennessee?
Right.
You see what Marshawn Lynch did to him.
The thing is they were winning that game. Game flow really went in his favor. I see the other thing happening here. Houston was Tom Savage. They weren't ready. and the Jacksonville got all over them. Their defense is better than people think. But Tennessee, this is a division rival. I mean, so was Houston, but, these teams have played a lot. Tennessee's a good offense. I expect them to get out to the lead, and that's why I like the Bortles and Lee combo at so cheap. But I will be hedging myself with Fournette if, in fact, the Jags do take the lead or just, pound the run, keeping it close enough where they don't.
Yeah, they're going to try to. They're going to try that.
Yeah,
they're going to try that at the beginning of the game. There's no question. They're going to try to slow it down. They just have to. I mean, unless they're stupid.
And I love the targets and the touches that Fournette got. So if you see me in a tournament, it's either going to be Bortles or Fournette on every one of my teams. So I'm going down with one of those. Everyone.
You heard it here first.
Doing it big this week. I like it.
Right. Go home. All right. Any other running backs you guys want to discuss, or we'll move on to receivers?
We touched on James White. I think obviously he's in play, and Tevin Coleman is in play for me in that Atlanta Patriots game. But that's about it. I'm actually probably have a pretty tight core with running backs. Bell, Elliott, my favorites. Mark Ingram, Kamara, McCaffrey.
So you're going to be underweight. You're going to be underweight on Tyre then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to be over.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ty, but I'll be underweight just tournament-wise. But those teams with Fournette, like my pivot is probably going to be to like a Rodgers. I may throw Montgomery in those teams. So I may not be underweight. I may be like with the field, which is like a horrible thing to do. But, I'm only going to be building about 10 teams, and it's probably going to be 6 Bortles and 4 Rodgers, and probably 3 of those will have Montgomery. But I love Montgomery.
Yeah, I don't think that's I think that's smart to just go with the field.
I think Montgomery's going to be 40% owned. Like I think.
I agree. He's going to be somewhere around there, 40 to 50.
In cash games, he's going to be at least 60. I think.
Yeah,
so around 50
cash,
to 60.
Do not fade him in cash.
Yeah, I agree.
Put in Ty Montgomery in cash. Don't not do.
There's very few guys out there this week that you cannot fade in cash. He's one of them. The other guy, I think. And I hate it because I don't like it, is Chris Hogan on DK. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to receivers.
Yeah,
okay.
But I want to say something about Hunt. Like, I think Hunt is too talented of a guy. I was really high on Hunt. Like, if I did my seasonal, I think I said this. If I did my seasonal leagues before the injury, I would have had Hunt everywhere because I was gonna go after him earlier than anybody else would because I thought he's more talented. So I don't think I have donkey plays for sure, but that's not one of them. Like I think he's a good play, but I'm not gonna have him because of the ownership. Like I'm gonna have a couple shares. That's it. I'm not gonna have a lot. Yeah. But I do think he's okay. Yeah.
All right.
He
good.
Can pay off though. Hunt is definitely in play. He could pay off. Absolutely. 2 rushing touchdowns, 80 yards. Like that gets you there.
All right, guys. Let's hit on some receivers. We've talked about a lot. Just through talking about these games or something like that. So, Paulie, I'm going to start off with you. Tell me who you like at receivers, just real quick. You don't really need to go much in depth. There's a couple guys you can highlight, of course.
Sure. With the John Brown injury, Larry Fitzgerald is 100% in play. He got 13 targets last week. I know my boy Cash In has a grudge against him, but, play him this week. 6,500 on DraftKings. He's way too cheap. And if you add a touchdown or 2 to what he did last week, it's a monster game. Tyreek Hill has a phenomenal matchup against Philly. He should go off. He should get, they showed that they're going to make an effort to get him the ball. He's had a touchdown in like 6 straight games now. I expect that to continue. Keenan Allen's probably my favorite receiver for the price. Expect Phillip Rivers to continue to target him. Whether or not you play Blake Bortles, Marquise Lee is 100% in play. I think he's cash game playable. 3,800. He needs like 3 catches for 50 yards to pay off. And he definitely has a touchdown or 2 in play. He's thrown for a touchdown against his team last year. He's definitely going to be a major part of the offense and should get at least 10 targets. And then Devontae Adams and Cobb, both those guys, you could even play them both in a team with Rodgers. I expect them both to just, have massive targets, scores, big game in Atlanta. And then I guess I'm gonna be limited. I would say Terrell Pryor is way up there for me. Really like Terrell Pryor. Dropped 2 touchdowns last week. I expect that to get corrected. And Mike Evans, I think, will do his thing as like a high-end receiver against the Bears.
All right. Okay, so before I get into my thing, I think here's what I wrote about Tyreek Hill. You're playing him. You playing the Chiefs defense too?
Yeah, you can. You can definitely play Chiefs defense. I mean,
he returns a kick. I mean, that's
double dip.
That's what GPPs are won with, you know.
Yep,
so
absolutely. And, I mean, the Chiefs D
they create turnovers when they're at home, man. They just weird stuff happens. As a Charger fan, that's a different animal going into KC.
Yeah, they sacked Brady 3 times, and they're at home this week. Absolutely.
We know all Wentz can blow up. Okay, so I'm going to go over some receivers.
Barry's going to hurt that D some, though.
That's true. That is true.
Barry is super talent.
I agree.
Yep.
All right, so this is some guys that maybe we've always touched on. Obviously, Julio is probably like the catch game guy to go to.
Yep.
If obviously, like we talked about, AB, we like him, but obviously with the Bradford news, we're kind of off of everything. Everything else, like Cooks, obviously is good. Baldwin, I like Baldwin. He's going to come around. Terrell Pryor, I think, is also maybe in for a pretty decent day. Yep. Devontae Adams, I like. And then there's just like the value, you're trying to decipher between Diggs, Hogan, Lee, Thielen, and Hearns, Sanu. But yeah, JJ Nelson obviously is a GPP. I like that. But yeah, we've talked about all these receivers. There's nobody really I'm going to come up with. Josh, do you have anybody that you can add?
I mean, I got a lot of the ones y'all like. I mean, Julio is probably number 1 play, which I will go underweight. I love Keenan Allen. I love Hogan. I'm going Hogan. Like I'm gonna be high on Hogan. I love Adams. My leverage play off of Hunt is Hill. Like I love Hill. Hill's not gonna have the ownership that Hunt is, no question.
Absolutely.
He's not gonna be close. I absolutely love Tyreek Hill. He is on the football field. He might be my favorite player to watch. Mm-hmm. Love him. Mm-hmm. I love Gannon. I love Gannon in that New Orleans game. I think he's gonna catch a deep touchdown. That's just what I think. Belichick's gonna shut down Thomas, so I really like him. Coleman is an option over there as well. I love Baldwin. Y'all said Baldwin. I love him. I actually love Deshaun Jackson because I'll have 0 shares of Mike Evans. I'm not big. I love Mike Evans as a player, but they're gonna bracket him. Chicago is notorious. They shut him down every game, like last year.
Last year they played.
They shut him down. They're gonna.
They shut down Julio last week too.
Yeah, that's what they do. They're notorious for shutting down. The defensive coordinator in Chicago, he's great. He doesn't have the talent that he needs on the field, but as far as calling the defense, he's one of the best. Believe that. He's gonna stop Evans, I believe. But there's a lot of weapons on Tampa Bay. But I think Deshaun, if he does that, let's say he really shuts down Evans.
Yeah,
Deshaun's gonna be 1-on-1 over here, and I really like that.
I like that too.
What else I got? Bryant kind of coming off of him. Pryor, y'all said it. I love Aguilar. He caught me that touchdown last week. I like him again. He's gonna get the targets.
Aguilar,
Thielen, Diggs,
Aguilar.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar.
First baseman,
Philly.
Brewers.
Nelson
Aguilar.
He caught me that touchdown last week.
Yeah, man. No, he was the guy. Like Terrell. What's his name? What was a receiver from San Fran? That was like the number 2 on Philly.
Who are you talking about? I don't know.
He was from San Fran. He used to be on Baltimore. He's a speedster. He's now on Philly.
What's his fucking name? I can't think of his name. You don't know him, Joe? He's a deep guy from San Francisco last year.
The what?
Joe's
I was answering something in the chat. So
the deep dude from San Francisco last week.
That's on Philly. That's on Philly. The number 2 receiver in Philly.
All he does is go routes. He used to be on the Ravens.
Floyd. Oh no, Smith. Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith. Yes.
Yeah, so Torrey Smith was like the guy everyone thought, but it actually was Nelson Aguilar. I gotta give you props, Josh. You actually said that on the show last week, and you were right. Like the way they featured him.
He's the reason they traded old boy.
Yeah. Yep. Jordy Matthews or whatever. Matthews.
Yeah.
Jordan Matthews.
Thielen and Diggs, they're way too cheap. But if there's no Bradford, no,
they're all
gotta be off everything.
Cooper Kupp, I really like. Like if I'm going golf, like on my golf teams, I'll have Cooper Kupp in there.
Yeah, because Norman's gonna shadow Watkins. Kupp's the answer.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is talented.
Yep.
Look out for him. Keep him in your mind because he's talented. I like both of the receivers on Arizona that's not named Fitz, but Fitz is a great play. Like just because I don't play him, don't mean he's not a good play. He's a great play. I just won't play him. He had an injury too. I heard. I seen something about it where he had a little injury. Yeah, and that's why he kind of came off like he started the game good and didn't finish good. But I like both.
So he might even have more targets if he's healthy.
Probably.
Okay.
Kendall Wright, like he was a donkey play last week. Mm-hmm. He's terrible, but I mean White is out.
Yeah, with White out. Man,
yeah, he's out. So I mean, and Stewart and Curse for McCown. McCown's gonna win me all the money.
I love that.
Alrighty.
That's all the wide receivers I got.
All right, guys. All right, perfect. So that's going to segue us into tight ends, and then we're going to finish off with defense. Kickers, guys, just do what you do. I don't know what to say. You know.
I would like to say about kicker, just play your kicker against Indianapolis. Like I went all in on old dude from the Rams last week, and he was great for me. Just go all in on
Phil Dawson. Phil Dawson. Phil Dawson.
They're going to be able to march up and down the field on him all day, and when they get up 28-0, they're not even going to give a shit. So they're not even going to try to score no more touchdowns. So they'll march down the field and get in field goal range and kick field goals.
Yeah, 4,500. That's pretty good. It's not bad. All right, so tight ends. Up at the top, I don't really like anybody at the top. I like Gronk, obviously. I think he's more of I won't play him in cash. I just think there's other ways to go. But Kelsey, I think, might eat because he was shut down last week. But then there's Rudolph's got a great matchup if Bradford plays. If he doesn't, fade him. Then there's a couple guys, Fleener, Brate. They're two good cash game guys, I think. Brate gets at least 8 targets every game that Jameis is in. He's going to still get his targets, even with
Howard.
Deshaun. Yeah, and even Howard. It's going to take a few weeks. He liked Brate last year. If you watch the game,
I know. I watched them all.
And then I think also the narrative with Antonio Gates has got to be there to break the record. So I could see him. He's 3,000. It's very simple to get his.
Wait. What's the record for Gates? What's the narrative?
He needs one touchdown.
You can break the tight end touchdown record with 1 touchdown. He's tied right now with Gonzalez.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So he's right on it. So I could see it happening literally any game. And Hunter Henry was just an afterthought. He didn't even get a target last week. So, but then obviously Studebaker just talked about. To me, I've been saying it all week. I wrote about it. The guy who's going to score a touchdown tomorrow is going to be Jared Cook of the Raiders. He got 5 targets last week. He's facing a Jets defense who's number 30th against the tight end. They're terrible. Charles Clay last week had 49 yards and a touchdown. I had him in my write-up. I think Jared Cook's a great GPP to play tomorrow, where everybody else is going to be going somewhere around there, Fleener or Brate, and then you got Cook flying under the radar in that Raider game that nobody's going to think about. Paulie, it's actually Josh. Tell me about tight ends you like.
Gronk was my number 1, but Bennett has moved to my number 1. Bennett's my number 1 tight end this week. I think he's a great play. Just look at the games last year from the Packers where Cook dominated them. So I think Bennett is a great play. Fleener is probably the cash play. Brate I love. I always love Brate. I think he's very good. It sucks that they drafted Howard. I don't know why, because Brate is talented to me. So it kind of pissed me off that they did that, because I think Howard will eventually. He's going to take away the targets from Brate.
Yeah, he will.
Which fucking sucks. Ebron I love because look what Witten did. Like I said last week, Witten is in play just for his price, and he's going against the Giants. Mm-hmm. And the Giants defense made Witten look good.
Yeah.
So Ebron is better than Witten. So
it's Monday night.
I really, that's true. Yeah. I love him. Like I think he's going to catch a touchdown. Rudolph, but he's Bradford's hurt. But Kittle is my GPP. Like nobody's going to have this dude.
Yeah, I know.
He played almost every single snap. He played almost every single snap last week.
Kittles
target Seattle with tight ends. That's what I do. It doesn't always work out, but I mean, I target them with tight ends. So
how much you gonna lose too? He's so cheap.
Yeah. No, I think he's a great play. Nobody's gonna play this dude. I don't even think nobody knows about him, really. To be honest with you,
nobody does.
I mean, Clay
got 6 targets last week.
Option.
Got 6 targets.
He was in almost every play. He was just on the field. If you're on the field, if you're that price,
what's his price?
Down. Oh man, he's way down there.
Like 2,500.
I bet you.
I think he is min.
Yeah,
he might be a couple hundred over.
2,500. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, man, that's a great play. Great play.
Yeah,
to save salary.
I like it. Yeah, I like Cook too. I agree with you. I think Cook's going to catch a touchdown this week too. Mm-hmm. And Julius Thomas, I also think maybe could catch a touchdown. Yep. But I do like Cook as well. I mean, Carr will go after his tight end. Like he targeted his tight end. Carr does not discriminate.
I'm trying to remember. Did Julius Thomas ever play with Cutler in Denver, or was it he just missed him? Huh?
Yeah,
that's right. I thought if that would have been really good if they would have hooked up like that.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my tight ends. I mean, Graham maybe, but I won't go there. He's too expensive for me. Like, yeah. Well, if I'm gonna pay up like that, I'm gonna be Gronk.
Yeah, for me it's Gronk all the way. Like I'm gonna be making effort to get him into a lot of my teams. With Amendola going down, I just see Brady going to him a ton, and New Orleans having no answer for him. I like the Antonio Gates call. Did not know about the record, so that boosted me even further up my list. I'm going back to look right now to see what his targets were last week because
he only
had three targets, 2 receptions. Maybe that's a tribute to the Denver defense. This Miami defense is not the same, so I think Gates at 3K on DraftKings is fine. I really like Cameron Brate. I don't think anybody will be on him. You know, all 3 of us have mentioned him. That makes me like him even more. I thought I was going to be like the sneaky guy with Brate. So
I think he's good for cash. So that's the thing. I watched their games last year.
Yep.
And
they're gonna. Yeah. Evans is not gonna do it, man. It's gonna be great. I mean, I like it.
I like that too. I like that call, and I totally agree with the Jared Cook. You know, as we were doing this thing, I think it was interesting. None of us mentioned any Oakland receivers. I think those guys might go underowned now that, like, you know, we've passed receivers. So, but I do like the Cook call. He got way more targets than I expected, and he is talented. I liked him when he went to Green Bay last year. I thought, you know, like finally Aaron Rodgers is a good receiving tight end. He just kept getting hurt.
And he's huge.
And he's a big dude, big target. Carr likes a big target, so I'm with that. And then Zach Ertz is absolutely in play.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention him, yeah.
Philadelphia.
I think they moved him up, so that's why.
Yeah.
Priced up, so it's kind of...
That's perfect. That's what I want.
Yeah,
exactly. So, like, for me, it's either Gronk or Ertz, or if I'm paying down because I run out of money, I'll grab Brate or Gates or someone like you guys mentioned. And I don't mind that Kittle call. I think that's sneaky. I think that's a good millie maker kind of play.
Agreed. Very much. All right, guys.
But I agree with Ertz. I didn't mention him, but I think Ertz is a great play. Like, he's going to get a lot of targets.
Yep. He's the man.
But the Gates thing, I mean, Hunter Henry is so much more talented. Like,
I know.
Gates just need to go away from me.
I know.
Just catch your touchdown and retire.
And then retire.
Hey, Josh, I love you to death, bro. But just to let you know, Antonio Gates is like my favorite player.
I understand.
I named my bong Mr. Gates. All right. I know, dude.
Is he a grandpa yet? Like, does he have a grandpa?
He's younger than me. That's what makes me feel bad.
He's
younger than me. All right. I know, dude. He's great, but okay, we got this question here on tight end, and it's actually not a bad question because we know how fucking asshole fucking Belichick could be. Studebaker brought up a great question in chat. Ultimate Fate, Dwayne Allen, GPP, Dwayne Allen, their second tight end. He's probably
Bennett did it last year. Bennett caught 2 touchdowns last year when everybody
was out. Gronk was out.
Gronk was out that game? Oh, I thought Gronk was in.
I don't know. I think you could be right.
He was.
I don't know. I mean, remember we used to have the Gronk, murderer on the other side that used to do it. What's his name?
Hernandez.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess. I mean, that's another.
No, I like
it.
I like it. Yeah.
Do Kittle, and in the flex, do Allen, and then roll it, bro. Win that $1 million, Studebaker. If you do win that $1 million, I hope you leave it just a little bit, like a G. I'd be cool with a G, to be honest with you. But
I mean, I like the call. 'Cause, I mean, the only way they could stop Gronk is to double team him, but they can't double team everybody.
No,
they can't stop Gronk. But if they okay, here's a perfect. When they get in the red zone, say they double team Gronk, then Brady doesn't. Brady is another guy. He will throw it that's why we play Brady naked a lot. He'll throw it everywhere. They got so many options. So if Allen is sitting there wide open and Gronk is double teamed, I mean Brady's gonna throw it to Allen. So fuck, I think it's a good call. I think it's a good question too.
Good. All right, guys. All right, let's finish it off here with defense, and then we'll have our closing, basically comments here. Basically, guys, just give me like your top defenses this week. Not even, give me one that whoever your top defense is,
Ravens.
And then give me your price top defense. So you like the Ravens? I agree. I like the Ravens. What do you think, Paulie?
Mine's Tampa Bay.
Dude, I like Tampa Bay too. That's very
Seattle.
Good too. I like both of them. I think Tampa Bay on FanDuel at 4,500 is a very good value compared to all the other defenses. When I was looking at it, because all the other defense, they really did I don't know if you want to call it a good job or a bad job at pricing up the defenses on FanDuel. What about the Raiders?
Like them.
Cardinals?
Yeah, I like the Seahawks and Cardinals more, but I do like the Raiders too.
I like the Seahawks.
I really like the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Okay, good. And then finally, we do like the Chargers as a good GPP option, I'm sure.
Yeah, I like the Chargers as well.
And then we also
defense.
Chiefs too. We talked about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And Carolina.
Cheap, I would like Cowboys. I like Cowboys and the Bears for cheap.
Yes. Ooh,
the Bears?
Cowboys. That would be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a price play. Like,
what about the Jags?
Cheap. I don't like them. I don't like them this week. They're one of the best defenses in the NFL, but
Mariota's too much of a wild card. And then finally, if Bradford's out, let's just switch everything on to Pittsburgh, even cash.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
In Carolina, if you're playing McCaffrey.
Yeah. Okay.
San Fran's not.
I was all in. I was all in Jags last week on FanDuel. So between Jags and my Rams kicker, it was great.
See, I had the Rams D, and in my mind, like when it comes to cash games on FanDuel, if you can nail your kicker and your defense, you can win. It's so much easier to cash. Yep. But if you don't, I was
almost all in on the Rams on DK, but I had some Houston too over there. I really liked Houston, but they were bad.
Houston just flat on their face.
Yeah, I was almost all in.
I was on the narrative that they were going to come in all jazzed up.
Storm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Storm. I just had too much Hoyer, man. If Hoyer just does anything, man, I could have had a comma in my profit.
Let's see here. Real quick, what I would say about kicker, I like what you said. Other kickers, maybe Giorgio Tavecchio. I could see the Raider game being, like they get up and then they just run the ball and kick a couple field goals.
Bailey.
Just like his name. Bailey's good too in that altitude. Obviously, you can also take those kickers in the games, in those high shootout games, because they are going to get some field goal attempts. There's not going to all be touchdowns. So Brian,
and they get a lot of extra points too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and Blair Walsh for the Seahawks.
I like the Rams kicker again this week. The Rams and Ravens. I mean, the Ravens got the best kicker in the league, so he's the most expensive. But I mean, sometimes like if you got the money, you pay up a kicker to be contrarian. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna throw it to you guys last time. Just a quick just say your closing thoughts while we're waiting for any other questions, and then we're gonna head on out of here. Paulie, what you got to close us out?
Again, the field is going to be heavily on the big four quarterbacks with an expensive receiver, paying down at running backs. So I want to attack the field the opposite way. I'm going to pay down for the most part with my quarterback receiver combo, pay up at running backs and tight ends and receivers with a more balanced approach. That's going to be the contrarian style this week. And it might not be the sexy approach, but when you balance out and you get the right guys, it's an easier path to 200 points than going stars and scrubs. So when you go stars and scrubs, the stars really got to ball out to make that work. So, obviously everyone's going to be on the big two. Get your pieces of it, but don't go all in on that. There's players in other games that are definitely going to make and break value, and you just want to have the right pieces of those games. Dig in on New England and the Saints. I think there's the winning GPP players in there. Not sure which ones, but that's the game that I think, by nailing, you can set yourself really apart. And Blake Bortles and Marquise Lee stacks for all the money.
McCown.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What you got, Josh? That's my CK impersonation. Yeah, for sure.
I said a lot of the players I'm going to go overweight on and underweight. I'm going to have I wanted Bell. I wanted Bell so much, but if Bradford's out, I'm going to really come down on Bell. It just really pissed me off when you said that.
Oh, I know. It's really screwing up my cash lineups, too, because I had Thielen and Diggs, and I just thought Thielen with his price is just so...
Like, I'll back up what Paulie just said. Like, in cash, you try to force in as much as you can from the two big games. Like, try to get them in. But in GPPs, try to fade. But there's certain plays, like Ty, I'm going to be overweight. There's certain plays I'm going to be overweight in those games on, too. But that's just what you try to do. You get your cash game, get as many cash game players from the highest totals, the shootouts, and try to fade in GPPs.
Yep.
All right. So let's see here. Don't have any other questions for me. Guys, when it comes to cash games, let's see where the herd's going. Obviously, there's going to be a couple free squares. Ty Montgomery, you got to play him in cash. I think it's just the absolute lock of anything. Let's see here. We have a question. Just curious, if Bradford is out, why does Bell get downgraded so much? I think the Steelers still run the ball a lot, especially after last week. Guys, you answer that.
He's still not ready. Like, his body still ain't ready. If we're going to blow out Minnesota, if Bradford ain't playing, we're going to beat them. They're at home. Like, why would we run out Bell in the fourth quarter to run the clock out? I don't know.
I agree. If they don't need to go to him, they'll spread it out a bit more. Maybe even give the rookie some carries. It's only in the close game where I thought, that they would need to go to Bell to get that win. So, same answer.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I'll still have him though. I'm still gonna have some of them.
Yeah,
it's not as heavy.
All right, so to get him ready, maybe, but I still think by the fourth quarter they take him out. You want to get him ready, or you want him to twist the knee? You know what I mean?
We don't know. We it could be close. Who knows? But I doubt it if Bradford don't play.
Yeah, but if Bradford does play, that's where tomorrow. Be checking out. Maybe, hopefully, some of us will go in the chat. Maybe before lock, if we can, that'd be great.
I'll be in there.
And answering questions and stuff like that. But that's gonna do it today, guys. We went almost hour and 45 minutes. So, it was good though. We had some really good games. I don't know if all weeks we'll have these primary games we're gonna talk about. But yes, it was fun. Obviously, Josh, it was great having you on the first time.
It was marvelous.
Yes. Marvelous. That's the word of the day.
I could talk another 2 hours. Let's talk another 2 hours.
Yes, I know, but I am on my way now to go see USC and Texas at the Coliseum.
Oh,
I will be there. I will be a part of that sold out crowd. I'll tell you what, I'm going for one. I think SC is going to kill him, and two, the amount of pussy from Austin that's going to be in that game from Texas. Oh my God. Quickest way to my wallet. Blonde with a southern accent. Oh, my God. Oh, they're going to be everywhere. I love them. Oh, my God. Oh, hey, y'all. Oh, hey, y'all. Oh. I'll just give you, just read to me.
I'm guessing your wife is not in the house.
You know what I mean? Like, that's, I don't know what it is, man. It's just I have a weakness. It's like my Achilles heel. Oh, my God. Southern accents. Oh, my God. Just do it. There's gonna be.
I got one.
Wait, I don't want you to do it.
You don't like mine? Mine's not sexy for you?
No. Even with your hair down, it's not. I just say I almost saw you naked earlier today, which was really weird. but anyways, but guys, we had a great time here. Good luck in week 2. We'll definitely be back during the week with Wednesday with our free YouTube. We're going to be doing a little bit more next week. Actually, on the live stream, on this live stream, I will be out because I am going to follow my Trojans up to Berkeley to see them play Cal. So I will be up there next Saturday watching them. But I will definitely be doing a audio or a video recording sometime next week, so you can get more of my plays as well as Paulie's and Josh. So guys, it's been great. And I'm sure we'll be talking and in the chats and everything. So, any last words?
Get that money.
Fuck the world. Let's get it.
Fuck the world. Anyways, for Patio Joe and Paulie D and Josh, we are out.
Yeah.